What is this? Okay, good. It looks like I just milked nothing. I should probably not do that in town. Just like jack off in the town square. Hey, how's it going? Whoa, whoa! What the fuck is this? Got him! I've just been drifting around, being led by circumstances. No, that's not right. In Ave, you helped Bart when he needed it. I can't keep a fucking straight face, this awful writing. Drifting, kind of like me. Holy shit. Oh no! Oh, we're not quite dead yet. Don't worry though, I have a telescope equipped. The sprite tells me it's a lady, but the face tells me it's a man. Do that Dr. Girlfriend voice. Yesterday my stove caught on fire. I thought the whole house was gonna burn down. You, they're ugly, kid. Every kid is ugly.
What? These aren't special in any way. There goes the potion! Oh!
It's a perfect fit. Oh! Ooh! Well, that's gonna be a problem. 24 people have died. We might not finish the campaign now. Oops. I never equipped the chainsaw. I never equipped the chainsaw! Oh my god. I didn't stab that man with a chainsaw. I just made chainsaw noises as I hit him with an axe. Holy fuck, I'm an idiot. Oh, he'll have the key for sure. Police! Nobody move! Like I kicked his knee bone or something.
Are you blind? What in God's... I mean, better luck next time.
Armor broken, what the fuck? Just kicked that boar and my clothes exploded. Arcanum.
Damn it. Stop. You totally fucked it up.
Well, you fucked me, dog. We're not getting in now. You blew it, old man. Holy shit, you blew it. Wow, and it's just his face. Oh. No. I can't take you seriously when your planet's called Choco. Welcome to Choco, keep your nose clean. Is your planet named after candy?
Spell shit in hindsight. That went pretty good. The hell is this? It says the sacrifice of fire is the gate to ruin. Place torch if you crave the void. Okay.
Terrors may indeed stalk these shadows, but yonder, a glint of gold.
I fucked that up. A whole bunch.
So after our little rover adventure last night, our goal today is, that's actually the candy. We want to refuel Gosling Station and rescue Jokey. Which I think we were just sending another Science 21,000, weren't we? Yep, there's the refueling tanks. There's the new rover. I really want to put a shroud on this though, but I think the shroud's just too fucking big. You know what? No, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try to squeeze the shroud in. I want you gone for now. Alright, well that's a no-go. It's gotta be the 1x6. Yeah, because the little peg is where the solar panel actually appears, so... that might hit him, so what we'll actually do is we'll do it like this. Which unfortunately causes the lid to slam into here. There's a little clipping when we open it. I hope that doesn't actually cause any trouble. Because with so much battery power, we'll actually close the shroud when we're driving. I wonder if I can move the seat forward. Actually, I can move the seat forward very easily. I like that sort of clipping. Does hit the scanner still, though. No, I don't like that. Then that makes it look like sort of an engine. And then the rover arm still needs to go on, so retract solar panel. I mean, we could put a light arm, which is a lot more manageable, but I think that, what is... Now, do I need different arms for different things? I think our rover was perfect the way it was. The problem with the rover was the fact that we lost the solar panel and the SAS on the bottom. Those are the major structural flaws, and the battery capacity. What's the difference between a light scanning arm and a medium scanning arm? Tracking speed 30. Okay. It's rated for a 3.0 kPa dynamic pressure. So it says max science fraction. So it looks like we'll get more science if we use the big arm. Hey, Justin. So we cannot use the solar panel and the scanning arm at the exact same time. So I guess I actually want to put it here. Oh yeah, look at that. Beauty. Rests right on the arm. New and improved rover design, I hope. Alright, close this. And that's not actually coming, so we can put that in the junk bin. We've got this guy. I think this ship's good to go. Yeah, because we got the reaction wheel down here. Did I put solar panels on this? I did. I gave this guy a big one. Okay, the science, 21,000 Mark II. Once we deliver the lander, well, technically, we could also send this lander to the moon or to Duna, but I think just the Minmus model, because we might be able to use this to dock with the mining station or something. I don't know. All right, save. Next stop, Minmus. I forgot to see who's flying this thing. We want Jeb. And right now it's being piloted by nobody because it's got so many probe cores. Revert flight, Fab. How's the center of mass on the rover? I think it's still pretty central, although, yeah, we would want it a little bit towards the front, but the main reason the center of mass was causing problems for us is we were driving 60 kilometers in it. For something shorter, like 5 kilometers tops, we can manage with a slightly off-center. Alright, change my route from this to this. And then we decouple. Center of mass is pretty close to the front. Well, sorry, it's closer to the front than it is to the middle. It's got these braking thrusters. I have high hopes for this guy. Oh, look at that. It kicked the jet boat when we went back to the VAB. This 21,001. Oh, fuck. Maybe the 21,001 was the Mark 1. Oh, well, too late. This is funnier. Space programs aren't known for their details. Jeb, you're in the seat. Jeb, don't do that. Send him up in the seat. I don't think the fairing will protect him from the ascent. I think he'll get knocked loose. I want to get up there quick. I don't want to spend too much time there down on the surface tonight in case there's another catastrophic error with my design. Fucking fairings in the dumb spot. Okay. Launch. Ah, fuck. No, we'll do this. We'll do the staging properly as well. Okay. Blow the fairing, undock. Right, you undock and then fire this. And later on, fire this. I don't want this to be a docking port. I want it to be a Separatron so we can try to dock with Gosling Station, if I'm correct. Okay. Because we can't refuel Gosling if we can't dock, so that was a close one.
Okay, docking port and then a Separatron. Stack separator, sorry. I think this is what we want. Save. I was thinking about it. Oh, hey, managed to make it to 1 live this time. I'm thinking that we might actually leave some of our science in the mobile processing lab. I think we might just bring back the moon rock. Might have pitched over way too fast here. We'll see. Let's just follow prograde. Let's see how bad of an idea this was. Oh no, because the docking port it's poking through. I think I tipped over too soon. We'll see if I can correct it. Save it, I guess. Alright, let's see if the fairing's protecting my car from the heat. We are red hot. Oh boy. It's a pretty fat orbit so far. I'm seeing a little heat here. That's terrifying. I've never burned up that much on my ascent. So the car's propulsion didn't have a weird separation where it was just the rover. Oh, this engine is for landing on the moon, Justin. It's got a little baby engine because the RCS isn't strong enough to slow it down. So once it decouples from the lander can, which is this, I think it's one of these, then it fires the landing thruster. So that's the stage we have to correct. I fucked that up. $11.49. Hopefully we have enough for the plane change. If we use Minmus enough, I wonder if I can figure out a way to launch and correct the angle on our way up, which would be wonderful. All right, we're almost in the vacuum. Then we can pop the fairing. Going beyond 300. So I'd want to throttle down. Yeah, because I guess you never want to catch on fire, right? If you're catching on fire, you're going too fast for your altitude. All right. We'll quick save it here. I mean, on the upside, we did burn a little more fuel than we needed, but I think we're going to be able to circularize again with our main stage, which is perfect. We want to make sure all the ships that use the nerve don't have to waste any nerve thrust circularizing because they're so shitty and weak. I'm a little concerned about the battery drain on this thing because it's got the RCS here. There's another RCS here. It's got a lot of batteries, I guess, which we can piggyback drain off of for now. I feel these engines are so strong I can burn right at the apps. Okay, so now we've got 600 for the plane change and a little bit to get to Minmus. There it is. .6. Always the fun part. I have to figure out which one you burn on which. I think it's normal on descending and anti-normal on ascending. The action wheels, okay, this should be fine. It's a little more responsive with the extra wheel. What exactly is my goal at this point? I still am trying to get to Duna. That's where we'll end the show. But for tonight, I think we're just going to try to add a fuel tank to Gosling Station to help fuel our Duna ship. Even though I'm pretty sure we can, I mean, I've seen people build like little hobo rockets that go from Kerbal all the way to Duna and back, but like something a little more elegant. But everything takes so long right now. Probably just getting that fuel tank onto our space station is going to take the whole night. Just a little baby burn. Oh, who am I kidding? We'll just do a giant one right when we hit it. Why not leave the fairing on to avoid wobble? The solar panels are in there, so to keep the batteries running, I like to deploy my solar panels once we're in space. Even though I haven't done it right now. So we've got about 400. That's half our burn to Minmus. Okay, we're the right angle. Now we just got to get a good intercept. Which I think is 930. So there's an intercept, but we just have to make sure 37 days. I think that's the bad kind. I think that's the kind that spins us the wrong way if it takes that long to meet up, doesn't it? Yeah, I want one of these where it scoops me up on the close side, but I feel that... I almost feel like I always have to go past Minmus. It feels like it can never scoop me up. Like it doesn't have enough gravity when I'm still on the inside. "29 days? I swore there was a shorter intersect." I want to hit them at a 45-degree angle ahead of their orbit. So where am I? Bum, 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 bum. Oop. Wrong side? There's the moon. Oh, the damn moon's in my way. Nine days. There we go. Another hot tip. No, sorry, 9 days in my Apple apps. That's still a good one. There we go. So in 4 minutes, we'll start our burn. And then next stop, Gosling Station. And then we just have to pray that I'm rotating the right way. Otherwise, we'll have to waste a bunch of fuel flipping our orbit. Which, it actually won't be that much fuel in the nerve, I think. It'll just be a matter of pulling it off in time. Okay, save flight. Quick save 11 is what we'll call this one. Gotta make sure I can actually flip this thing to my target in time. Which I guess really is just pro grade. A little bit of a lead time. Could you also just burn towards your target when it lines up with your pro grade, or would that not always send you there? What was my question? No, I was curious if I could just burn towards the target on the nav ball instead of manually setting the maneuver. Like if your apps lines up with the target, then you're correct or whatever. Your pro grade, I mean, sorry. Not that it matters. I mean, you just set the maneuver. But I remember in the olden days of Kerbal, people had it's like a way to eyeball the perfect time to launch and burn. You guys are turned off, right? Yep. The most expensive part is almost over, and we still have 1,800. It'll be more like 1,700. The little orange tanks, the central column is liquid fuel, but then these outer tanks also have oxidizers, so I can refuel my lander, because we have a lander waiting for us at Minmus. trying to figure out a solution to how to refuel the space station efficiently, and I think this ship can pull it off. Now that I've got the hang of the ascent with the large twin bores. All right. It's such a small window of opportunity on this intersect. I think we'll have to... There we go. And then what's the station at? 17,000. So 1,600 to correct our orbit and go home and dock, but we have a lot of RCS fuel. Although, you know what? Now that you say it, maybe I should make those tanks detachable, because once I refuel the space station, they serve no purpose on the return trip. This is going to be a really bad dock, though, because we don't have a command module on the space station. So I think there's a scientist driving right now, and they are not going to be able to offer any assistance on aligning the station, which is why when I send up a fuel tank, I'll probably strap a probe core onto it so that I can pivot the station even when there's no pilot. I thought asparagus staging was a lot less effective after one of the patches they did a while ago. Like, it used to be what you'd always do every single time, asparagus stage, but then I thought they made it less powerful. I think it's still worth it if you want to go through the trouble. But I remember back when I was much worse in my early days, and you'd have like 8 radial boosters all asparagus staging from a main tank or something, or the other way around. I don't asparagus stage anymore, though. I'm guessing you need it for like really wacky missions. Burn at what, like 15 seconds, I'll say? Because it might be a long burn. There's the station. Just pray we're going the right way. Starting to come around. There she goes. Okay, 1,300 to meet up with the station. We're spinning the wrong way. Perfect. But because it's Minmus, we just completely kill our velocity once we're circularized, right? Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time. So I think because I think I had a bad intercept when I sent the station there. So I think if we intercept Minmus properly, we'll always be spinning the wrong way. Okay, so I think so. Is it? So I think it's burn retrograde, but then hold position because it'll turn into prograde. I think. Let's see. Let's see if I'm right. I mean, not the end of the world, because the gravity's so low. Oh, nope, still going the wrong way. Yeah, definitely can't pull that kind of shit on Eve. But nice little hobo fix when we're out on Minmus here. I mean, we still have 1,000. We still have 1,000 to meet up with Sting and go home. Because if I'm correct, these are locked, so it shouldn't be calculated towards our total delta. If it is, though, we might not have enough fuel after that burn. We're going to find out. You are my target, though. My node's 0.4 degrees. That's pretty good. Wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time I had to do a U-turn on Minmus. Probably responsible for an oil crisis back home when I have to do shit like that to rescue a mission. Rather than go back in my time machine, which I also do a lot of. I'm a little concerned here. 5 might be too low. I'm going to get pulled in on Minmus 4, I think. That is uncomfortably close to the surface, so I'm going to bring that up. I'm gonna have to burn radial or something. It's a weird disconnect we have here. Okay. So, oh, never mind, because this is 16. We want to be even lower. Jesus. Eight's a lot more reasonable. The one problem is it's still low that I think we can't do a higher time warp. And then we just kind of spin around until we catch up with it. Actually, I'm ahead of it, so I want a taller orbit if we're going to be fancy. Yeah, thinking the same thing. I just want to make sure this part's in good shape, because this is probably where the rendezvous is going to happen. Okay, and then yeah, I'm ahead of it, so I want to make my orbit even bigger. Slow me down. This concerns me though. I'm concerned about the delta readout on the... Yeah, he's still got his own little thing of fuel up there. Not the end of the world if I have to abandon the lander. We're mostly here to refuel the station. The lander's a bonus objective. Still not lined up perfectly, so when I do have an intercept, we'll be quite a ways apart. And then we still got to correct our inclination. That's enough of that. I think it's normal at my descending node. Where am I refueling from? Yes, we disconnect the rover and then we dock with Gosling. So technically we can dump the lander anywhere, but no, sorry. The rover does need to land at Gumdrop Station, which is around here. Because otherwise it'll take forever for Jokey to go grab it. Okay. And then at my periapse here, I want to try to radial a bit to walk it over. I guess it would be in my periapse. Let's not worry about that until we shrink it. We want to be just kind of near this thing, and then we'll shrink the orbit down. So next batch, we might be pretty close. This is pretty close. This is doable. Oh wow, that's extra doable. So at our periapse, we'll kill our orbit, so our speed slows down. Going a little too A direction. We're pretty far away, but I might be able to just kill it right here and save it. Whoops, don't do that, don't do that. Looks like I want to kill target velocity near here. Actually, I think we should just keep going because we get even closer here. 3.5 kilometers, and then we drift apart again on this one. Save here. Just eyeball it. Normally I try to get like way closer than 3.5 kilometers before we start doing the fine tuning, but I guess I could burn up my apps. Yeah, I'm not really going to get a good one. There we go. 0.7 kilometers, 1.2 meters relative speed, and we do it for a really long stretch here where we're near each other. Perfect. Descending node still 0. Where am I? We're in Minmus. Not too far out at all. I'd have to switch to maneuvering thrusters here. Let's just start to go toward the node here, kill that 0.6. I guess I could just kill the total velocity though. Because if it's only the one intersect, that means it should almost be completely synchronized, right? And then the circle is towards my target. Where are you? There you are. "100 meters away," that's closer to the kind of stuff I normally pull off. Docking in the dark is not fun, though. What's the Wednesday game? There is no Wednesday game right now. It's just the same game all the way through for now. Since I pretty much stream every day now because of lockdown. Christ, that thing's fucking dark. There's my docking port, I think. No, that's the lander. We dock here. Alright, so just in case I fuck this up, so save game. This is Minmus Orbit 2. Because it's time to separate the lander and its tug from the actual ship here so we can refuel. Okay. Decouple. That also frees the docking port. Perfect. So off he goes. This thing has its own probe core, so it can safely land down on the surface. That does sound like a hot tip. So I control you from here. Apparently I can't. Or is it already controlled from here? Can the pilot... Do you need a pilot to change control from here? Uh-oh. Oh, battery's empty. Ah, shit. Still? That's going to complicate things immensely. How perfect is this orbit? Because we have to wait until the station has power. We are pretty much perpetually in orbit with this thing, so we'll wait for the power to turn on. That is a good tip, though, but the station has some power problems. The battery isn't powerful enough to last the night. Okay. It's because nobody's actually in the control module. I think the people are just living in the science station, right? You're living in the hitchhiker module. Christ, you guys have been trying to do science. Bob, can you fucking... Sorry, I keep forgetting that you can transfer crew from here. That's not what I said. All right, now we've got control-ish. Where did you go, little ship? Yeah, this is going to be a very risky dock because it's got no SAS. All right, that's kind of good. Except I kind of want to be pointed towards it. We'll just wing it with what we have. We got a lot of, well, not you. We stand a chance. I think we can use docking mode actually for the lateral movement. Once we're nice and close, let's put those thrusters on. Steady. Oh, right, find control. We learned that from our rover adventure. Look at this. We're gonna make it. Maybe, kind of. Look at that grip. We're in. And with the lander attached to it, Jebediah can keep her steady while we do the fuel transfer. Oh, wait. So I want priority this. The hell? It's okay. Oh no, it's going between each other. This happened the last time. Oh boy, just filling itself up. Maybe just the one tank, yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like this fuel is being calculated as our delta V to get home, so I'm very concerned now. This thing only has 300 delta V to get home. Oh, no, sorry, that is including the fact that we ditched the... no, wait, our delta V shitty because we're attached to the station right now, right? We'll do something very quick. We're just going to decouple for a moment just to see what happens to our delta V there. All right, 1,700. We can get home. Why even waste fuel trying to reconnect at that? It worked, though. We were able to refuel the station. We don't need to bring another lander, so this thing's going to be extra light next time. So I'm going to send down Jebediah so he can drive the thing. And we don't need a dock. Once we get back up here, we can just... No, never mind. Fuck, we do want to dock the lander every single time, don't we? So make sure this monopropellant's topped up. It's not. Wish it would flow faster. Okay. Do I have to rotate staff? In the stock game, they can stay up there indefinitely. They're photosynthetic. There's mods and stuff. You have to worry about life support and food supplies, but I don't play with that stuff. See, that's what I thought too about the green arrow, but it behaves weird. It's like these are flagged as the green arrow, and they were actually being used in the delta V calculation stuff. You're full. You're full. You're full. Man, not too bad. Our first orbital resupply. Oh, fuck. So, I got a problem here. We need to bring down the lander and set up a weather station, which requires a scientist. But then we also have to bring Jokey up. But if we don't take Jebediah, we won't be able to steer the lander very effectively. But we have to do it with just Bob, otherwise it's going to be fucking a crew mismanagement nightmare. Alright, let's do this. Orbit 3, it's all in capitals because we were doing fine controls. Just sounds like the man on the radio is very angry. So, Orbit 3! Alright, so Jebediah is staying up here because the weather control station's not going to get anything done if we deploy it with a pilot. And he's currently driving the thing. Crew report. What's this? Process this data in the lab equals 125 science. Hell yes. But, transfer crew. Bob will be attempting to bring the lander down. I don't think you can get a 3-man lander, can. But this is the last time we'll need to rotate people like this, I think. So this is fine. This is Jebediah. Well, Jebediah is flying it for now from the lander can. He has full control here. Okay. So now we just need to land over by Gumdrop Station, which is here. The Science 21,000 made in flight. Set as target. No, my ascending node is not off on a fucking flag. Don't be silly. I don't want to do this in the dark, though. Actually, what is the rotational period? How long is a day on Minmus? Pretty fucking long. Alright, so now we have to bring the lander down and the rover down at roughly the same time. So they, well, not roughly the same time, but we just have to make sure they land there. I think Minmus spins so slowly we don't have to worry about anything wacky like we do on Kerbal. Okay. Good luck, Bobby. Definitely need a pilot permanently staffed on this station. God, I miss SAS. That's pretty close, all things considered. Might be a very risky suicide burn, though. Yeah, I could put a probe core on it, but that means we have to fly up a new lander. We've already had to retrofit our rover for the exact same reason. That's why we brought this new rover up. Needs a stronger probe core on the landing tug. Then we just need to suicide burn, which I'm never really good at, but this thing has a full fuel tank, so we can actually do several landings in a row and several very inefficient landings if we need to, till we can bring up a pilot. Honestly, I might just put Valentina in charge of this station. She is our best pilot. After Jeb. Jeb will probably he'll probably stay in the main crew so we can get to Duna. Because once we have to do like a 5-minute burn to reach Duna, it'll be great if Jeb's high enough level to lock onto the maneuver the whole time so we can physics warp it. That's not too far at all, I think. How far away is this? 1 minute? Okay. Okay. There's our station. What's more of a surface outpost? I'm having a hell of a time keeping this thing steady. Wow. %10 of my velocity should be my altitude. So I want my surface speed to be like 12 meters. Steady, girl. That's pretty close. Only 2 kilometers out. Jokey can come visit him on the old rover. I guess the flats are considered sea level on Minmus, so we got to go all the way down. I'm very concerned about this being perfectly centered when we land. I hope we're wide enough that we don't tip over. It is going to suck if I fuck this up because we took so long to come down. Get a bit of sideways to us, huh? There we go. Okay, I see. I see what the problem was. Right, RCS off. We did it. 3 kilometers. Jokey can come visit. Specifically because I need that rover to go install the weather station. I hope Jokey's thing is actually in control. Or has network communication so we can talk to it. Nope, this is the new one. I am Thaco, I am one step closer. Because we can... Science 21,000. Which one's the actual rover, though? Not that one. That's the landing site, so it's this one. All right, it's been 29 days. You get to go home. Compared to our last drive, this is nothing, so... There's some stuff to scan. There's definitely some things we can use the rover arm on near the landing site, which is nice. The sad thing is, oh man, if you get a chance to watch the stream I did yesterday, you will see that there were a few problems with this rover design. I wonder if it's actually quicker to just have this. No, never mind. I think if I jetpack the whole 3 kilometers, he wouldn't have enough to fly back. So we'll have Bob try this out, and he'll go carry the weather station over there and install it, and then we'll abandon this rover. We'll decommission it remotely. Then we'll land the new rover. What planet am I on? This is just Minmus. Now we just got to be able to slow this thing down near the lander. Am I excited for KSP2? Well, I mean, I really only play Kerbal Space Program every couple of years, so I'll play it one day, not the day it launches, so I'm not too pumped. Hit the brakes for what it's worth. All right, you're going home, homie. Actually, no, sorry, he's not going home. He just lives in Gosling Station. We can transmit his report and he can get some levels just from the processing lab. Okay. That's weird. He should have a surface sample and stuff from the highlands. Huh. Oh, you like my lander? Thank you. This is not actually what we used to get back home. We just use this to dock with a space station up in orbit, and there's another ship there that we used to get home. Did I disable? I did disable. So here's the crazy thing: is sticky keys is off. It's a hot key that asks you if you want sticky keys. That's what causes the problem. Physics warp, since we can handle it on this computer. Oh, I think it's all this stuff. Yep, it's all this stuff. So we have to recover all this and drag it into the pod. Oh shit, I can give it break speed. Guessing I want better traction here on the surface, right? Maybe I don't want 100 on every wheel, though. We're going to find out. No, the guy driving the rover last night was Jokey, but we've already rescued him, Justin. He's back in the lander. Bob's coming to install a weather control station here. Well, sorry, not a weather control station. I fucking wish. Weather monitoring station. Let's see how much quicker we stop with the mega brakes here. We might flip over and explode, which would suck. And we're stopped. All right, let's install that weather station. So Science Station Gumdrop really came together there. Total power available 4, total power needed 3. You should update and require power in a moment. Required 1 produces 0, which is fine. Requires 1. Do you require? Requires 1. Requires 1. So You're generating 2 each? Alright, Science Station Gumdrop is good to go. Let's drive this back to the lander and get home. Yeah, this is the old lander. We haven't dropped off the new lander yet. We gotta take all these experiments home. Okay, surface sample, which I already have. EVA report, which... Alright, let's go home. Well, I mean, you live on the space station now. That's your new home. It's the only problem with this thing. Probably not a problem on the moon or Mars, but actually stopping this thing quickly is a pain in the ass. Goodbye, Gumdrop. We'll be back in a moment when we bring down the new lander. Sorry, the new rover. Keep getting the terminology wrong. This thing just always flips over. I still got a bit of a flip. Four meters is fast enough, though. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to try to bring down the new rover before these guys go up, because we can use the scanning arm to grab like a surface sample and fly that out. And it should be a lot easier to do a proper suicide burn on the rover because it's got a probe core that can lock retrograde. So if we land near this lander, Bob can hop on the new rover, retrieve a sample from that thing, and then fly it up to Gosling Station. Then we can decommission this old rover. Definitely went more smoothly than last night's rover adventure. The old rover lived a very full life. We drove it 65 kilometers, I think. Oh, now you fucking brake in a reasonable amount of time. So it takes about, I'd say, 200 meters to come to a full stop. No, it actually stops pretty quick with the... What would that be? Traction control and brakes helps it stop fast? And then I guess the gravity's so low we don't flip forward, maybe? Look at that. Little rock here. Let's grab an extra sample. Although I think that's actually what Jokey brought with him was this moon rock. We're getting better though. We're getting better at the precision side of things. Grab that. Not actually worth anything, but if we're lucky, the lab might be able to make some sense of it. All right, now you guys just sit tight here while we bring down the new rover. Before we bring down the new rover, though, I'm going to grab a drink quick. Are there components I can get to stash the rover in? Yes, eventually once we probably won't get that far on this playthrough because we're just trying to get to Duna, but eventually you'll get like space shuttle looking parts and you can just plant your rover inside those. So you guys hang tight. So the rover can drive itself, but the probe core itself is upside down, so it's very fucking hard to steer. Oh fuck, this is perfect. Might just have to bring it down, because if I go to grab a drink, we'll miss our landing window. It's not drawing fuel. Why is it not drawing fuel? Activate engine. Thank God. You have no power. Is that the problem? This engine will not fire for some reason. You've got fuel. Oh, control from here. I have no throttle control. What's the problem here, fella? I have no torque either. This thing's dead in the water. It's got a full battery. What in the world? Oh no. Maybe it's because I can't communicate. There we go. I just didn't have access to the network, so we couldn't send the orders. Mystery solved. If I'm unlucky, we might actually hit the ship, which would actually not be too terrible. How far away is this? 5 minutes, 4 seconds. This is more than enough time to grab my drink. I'll be back, and hopefully we won't be dead. All right, I'm back. We could probably speed it up a bit here. Because if we burn too early, that'll bring us closer to the science base. We want to land nice and close to the lander. That is probably not right there, but it's pretty close. Now we just wait to see what happens. We're unfortunately falling 2 meters per second. We are super close to this thing, I think, which is beautiful. I still have trouble, though, with when the planet's spinning under me. Hey there. I could use those. Yes, push myself down a bit. Can I physics warp? Look at that. Less than a kilometer away. That's perfect. The legs out. $500 meters. Okay. Now we just gotta disconnect this thing from the tug. So it should be H and K. All right. Rover deployed. Now we just have Bob go pick her up. Lights on. Careful now with that bounce. All right, let's see if this thing handles a little better than the old rover. SAS only. Here we go. Brakes F. What's so hot about this new rover? It just has a more sturdy panel, and it needed a battery to power the arm. So the battery in the old rover couldn't actually deploy the scanning arm. Whoops, turn off the steering. It's weird. Oh, steering off. No, wait, how do I... Steering enabled, motor on. Steering disabled, motor on. And I think that's probably what we'll scan, unless there's something closer to lander. No, I think that's the closest scan target. Still a little floaty. I don't know how to fix that, honestly, for Minmus. I can run an analysis before we leave. Oh, it tells me what biome I'm in. Which is kind of handy, but I don't think we're going cross-country on this fucking thing. I'm going to grab some data, just see if we can run it in the lab. Not a fan of four-wheel stealing. Oh, sorry, four-wheel steering. Not the way it works on this rover on Minmus, no. Remember to up our brakes. Traction control. Getting a little close to our target here. Just have to do a rotation here, I guess. All right, that our brakes kicked in. Okay. How am I not close enough? There we go. Scan the Olivine Formation. Yes, please. Here we go. Look at that. Olivine Formation scanned from Minmus's surface. Outcroppings of these mineral deposits can tell us much about Minmus's more energetic past. As a side note, the chunks chipped off are very pretty. Come back later with a better sensor. Now, transmit for 200 science. I think I'll just put that in the lab. I think I'll actually just leave all this stuff in the processing lab, because I think the processing lab gives us more science than if we brought it home, actually. Are there any other near our landing site? There's nothing nearby. But yes, you make an excellent point. We can just transmit this particular data and then send the new one up to the processing lab. But I'll only get 67% of the 200. I think we'll just do the lab. I think we'll just stick with the lab. Good rover, though. I'm liking the rover 2.0. I could run an analysis with this, which does nothing. Resource analysis performed for Minmus Greater Flats. I think we have to use this in conjunction with all of our mining operation modules. So it'll be good to have this guy down, because he can help fine-tune a resource scan from orbit, because we can figure out where to put our mining base. Man, yeah, this thing stopped way better with the extra traction control. Perfect. It's on physics warp, that's why he's walking dopey. Grab all this data for the processing lab. Data. All right. Pretty successful mission so far tonight. Goodbye, new rover. Fuck you, old rover. Your old news. Got the weather station up. So I think we need a, well, we could put down like a seismic measurer, which we have to like interact with to keep up to date. And then there's like, I think an ionosphere station or something. And that concludes all the surface station stuff. All right, grab board. All right. How the fuck am I going to dock this thing without a pilot? I might actually get it really close, spacewalk Jokey home, and then have Jebediah climb in and steer this thing in. That might actually be the best choice. All right. Our target is Gosling Station, so we have to make sure we go the right way. So I think we want to burn this way. But I don't know what that correlates to. I guess I could just burn straight up and then sideways because the gravity's so low, right? Save it again. Okay. Forgot how fucking hard it is to steer this thing. That flickering needs to stop. Stop it. Okay, I'm just burning in weird random directions, but our app waps is the right height. Try something like this. The hell is... Sorry, burning the wrong way now. Maybe I actually want to do it before we hit the app labs here. Oh my god! Mayday! Turn on SAS this. I don't have SAS on this ship because these guys aren't pilots. That's the problem with the ascent here. Never mind, I want to turn it the other way, don't I? Horribly inefficient on this lander here. God damn it, would you stop with this? I'm gonna fucking burn everything up just trying to launch it. All right, only off 7 degrees. They used up almost all the fucking fuel, though. So yeah, note to self, never fly without a pilot again. Okay, node's in pretty good shape. Orbit's a real thing. 509. Oh boy. Yeah, the only problem with the probe core is with a probe core we'll have to send up a new lander, which is a whole other mission. 500 should be enough to meet up with Gosling Station. Even though I did fucking mangle the launch. We'll just send another refueler with a pilot. Thing does have a shitload of Delta V though in the thrusters. Sorry, the monopropellant is what I mean. Okay, that's right. Node is off enough that I don't think we'll ever get a rendezvous. So what is it? This one for ascending? These poor bastards deserve a promotion for trying to do this, though. It's the wrong one. I don't think I'll ever remember the order for these. I could send a probe core with a docking port on each side. Yeah, I guess I could. I could, couldn't I? And then just bolt it onto the top here. That would be an intermediary fix. Not too bad, all things considered. Yeah, this, with a proper pilot, though, this thing should probably be able to handle 2 landings on a full tank. We're pretty much going to botch and have to do just one. It's a pretty good node. I don't think I can fine-tune it down to a complete 0, though. Ah, who am I kidding? If we just go right to the actual node, because you're not supposed to burn far away from it. And then, am I going faster or slower? I am going a little bit faster, so we're orbiting the right way here. Probably our next circuit is when we can try to actually meet up with this guy. Hey, Bane. There, 0. Thank you, RCS. Should actually be getting very close to intersecting with this guy, too, as an added bonus. Oh, I'm doing target, not orbit velocity. That's why my orbit's getting all fucking wacky tobacky. Gain a little target velocity here. Oh, never mind. He's ahead of me now, so I want to shrink it. Just use the thrusters here. It's a nice one. 1.6 kilometers. I think we'll actually have Jeb dock with the ship, not the other way around. We won't be able to line it up otherwise. Oh, look at that. It gets even closer there. 0.3 kilometers, 4.2. Wow. We veer off from it pretty quickly, though, so we got to be careful. Oh man, I just did it, but I just realized that fine-tuned controls make it way easier to control the SAS without a pilot. Okay, there she is. Now just burn towards it. Zero kilometers, 3.3 meters per second difference. We might, I think now with the fine controls, we might be able to dock controlling just the lander. Fucking shredded the fuel on this thing though, which is a shame. I think we'll be fine. We don't have to kill our speed till like 50 meters probably. Alright, there should be like no movement, but the velocity of just flying by is bringing us a little bit closer. And then we dock over on this thing. So let's switch to it so we can actually fucking spin it towards. Jeb can hold his part steady for us. Or is he actually mimicking me? Because I told him to hold position? That's fucking cool. Can I not move Jeb over to the lander? If I move Jeb, then the station loses its SAS. But it looks like at this range, Jeb's actually compensating over there, which is really cool. Oh boy, we've got a critical failure here. He wasn't quite mimicking me. It's going to be very hard to do the rotation. Actually, we can probably switch to the docking mode now that we're super close like this. Now that SAS apparently. Tempted to kind of just go for it and hope that the... Oh shit, does he have a lock to target mode? No, he's not high enough to lock onto target, which sucks. Just gonna go for it and hope we snap on. We did. Thank God the magnetic force on those docks are powerful. It's got a bit of a wobble. I flew into it so fast, actually. All right, come on home, fellas. Now, how do I run it with stop research? Okay. I think I have to physically carry the data in. Let's do a CurbNet access, level up our crew. Jokey's a level 2 engineer now, which is pretty great. So he's pretty good at fixing shit. Solar panels he puts down should be very powerful. All right. Review stored data. Got a fair bit of stuff. Oh, here we go. Process all this data in the lab. This data, instead of being 200 science, it will turn into 1,800 science over the course of 139 days. That's fucking gross. Process that in the lab. This is 40 data. 40 science becomes 250 science in the lab. Convert that. This is weird. This is just a surface sample from the ground, but it's going to become 940 science somehow. This also becomes... It looks like I can do... even after I bring something home, we can redo experiments in space. Okay, so yeah, this is just... We're done worrying about science now. Okay. Put that in. Cannot analyze data as the lab is full. Okay, so we can actually just keep those stowed in the lander and transfer them over as the processing lab does it. So yeah, I read that the processing lab was really powerful. Now I know why. Holy shit. And we did it, by the way. Holy shit. Definitely gonna put a probe core on that, or just always use Valentina to fly the lander from now on. Science wasn't really a hurdle. There were some nodes that just would have been a lot of busy work to grab. That's really my only complaint with the science tree. It's like, I'd say maybe like 3/4 of it is things I want, and the last quarter is like things I want, but grinding science specifically for it, I don't care for. So I can see why the lab is so powerful. Jesus Christ. All right, the lander, he needs to be refueled again. The one downside is we do have to wait like a year now for all that science to come in. Make sure I pull on. Now, how do I pull it? Do I have to physically drag it over? Review stored data, or can I send it somehow? Seismic scan from the Midlands is oddly powerful. I'll just have Jeb go grab it all manually and bring it home. Now, a minor problem is I think maybe one of our contracts was to bring back a moonstone. Or did we already do that? Put a station around the moon. Plant a flag on the moon. Satellite. Surveys of Kerbin. Surveys of Kerbin. All right. I don't have any moonstones we need to bring home. And then right-click on Station Command and check options. I don't see anything. Oh, there's another biome right there. That's called slopes. Interesting. So apparently very steep inclines are its own biome, which the rover, I think, can pull off. But, I mean, with the processing lab, we should be done the tech tree. All right, let's save it, and then we just got to bring this kid home. Oh, sorry, we gotta put Bobby back in the lab so he can help speed up the processing. Bobby. And then, even though Jokey can't fly the fucking thing, he's in charge of the cup. And then I will point him at the surface. Just so he has something to look at. Every now and then he might get a view of Gumdrop Station. So yeah, this thing needs it needs a little more battery power, and it needs a SAS little clamp we need to fly up. There we go. Cool. Save it here. All right, we have 1800 Delta V. It's time to go home. So we just burn at our periapse until we get sucked out, and then we burn at that periapse. When is our periapse? 27 minutes. Goodbye, Gosling Station. Don't fucking crash on me. No, it's just a perspective. Okay. Oh shit, we want to build prograde, eh? Retrograde, we'd crash. Alright, next stop, hopefully, home. See you, man. We got a lot done. I mean, not just the science we accumulated, hopefully enough to complete the whole tech tree, which is great, but we learned a lot about controlling things. There are some ship flaws that we should be able to correct by like flying up those little probe cores with clamps on each side, like was suggested. So really the last thing we need to do, we need to fly up. I'm just staring at the periapsis, so I can't concentrate on what I'm saying. We need to fly up that fuel tank so we can turn Gosling into a refueling station, and we need to get Valentina up there, which we'll have to refit the Science King 21001 a little bit. We don't have to worry about the rover, so we save a little weight and form there. Forgot I put a flag down. Weird crystal thing. Would you just warp to it, please? Thank you. Let's bring these guys home. Well, the guy's singular, so yeah. I think we'll maybe put a Landercan Mark II. I think a hitchhiker module would be too heavy, but we could make it disposable. We could just leave that in space. Nah, we'll probably just use a Landercan Mark II, because that way we can use the refueler to transfer people onto the space station if we need to. I want to make sure I don't get carried away designing the next ship though when I stay up too late. So we won't be at this too much longer, but man, it's going to be heaps of science. Well, not waiting for us, but on the horizon. We'll just be generating science every day whenever the processing lab has a chance to transmit at home. Actually, I'm not sure if it transmits at home or do I have to go pick it up? Well, if I have to go pick it up, that's just... the refueler can do that. Just because we have so much extra fuel, we're just burning it all off. I have to transmit manually? That's still not too bad. But does that mean I lose value then? Because it's like, oh, we generate 800 science, but I mean, don't I lose value transmitting? We might have to send up a stronger satellite dish. And then we'll actually have to do some contracts for money because we can't... Our R&D lab actually isn't a high enough level to buy the final tiers of science. And I think... Not that science? Okay, so just every time we refuel it, we'll have it, we'll have the pilot check in and transmit the science back to Kerbal before he leaves. Go, and we'll save it, just in case that is too hot of an entry. Reshroud this, so we get a little extra money on recovery. And it is time to head home. That's what the problem was. Heat shield should hold. We've already flown this type of ship home before. And with physics warp instead of time warp, the SAS should keep us pointed retrograde. We are gonna fucking cook though, wow. 2,000 meters per second. Just don't touch the sides. It's like Operation. Software glitch update before flight duty. You know what? Let's not worry about that right now. We're fine. Looks like we're coming in over the ocean as always. Then we just glide down into the ocean. A perfect mission, I'd say. We didn't even really do any quick loads on that one either. He brought back a bunch of science with him, the stuff that we didn't bother to put in the processing lab. He didn't level up, unfortunately. That's the one thing I don't like. It's like, I understand you don't want to be an expert so early, but I mean, the things I get from level 5, I would like to have leaving Kerbin's sphere of influence. And not just like, he's floating around the whole fucking solar system. Oh, now we can lock on to maneuver nodes. It's like, well, that doesn't help me now. I have 373, so I could grab this shit. I could grab an even stronger probe core. It has prograde, retrograde, radial, and normal altitude hold. I think this is probably the one we'll fly up, because it gives us control over the most things. And it's nice and tiny, so we can stick it between some docking clamps. We don't need this for Gosling Station, but these are some nice parts we can build towards later. And then, is Justin still here? Because over here is where we start getting space shuttle parts. There. The Mark II crew cabinet, and then specifically, where is it? Mark II cargo bay. Mark II cargo bay. So you could fit a rover in there if you're careful. And then here, I think you start getting like 747 sized cargo bays. Nope, they're all here. Yeah. Mark III cargo bay, cargo 50. Mark III cargo bay, cargo 25. These are very large. Mark III cargo ram. You can make some very big shit. Put the rover in there. I was just thinking of that. I was thinking as we might do a mission where we do a solar flyby and then we drop off some satellites so we can communicate with Duna when we finally do our Duna mission. So I think probably a solar flyby and we drop off the solar satellites, and then we'd probably do a Duna flyby to drop off some satellites, and then we'll actually try to land on Duna. But the Duna landing will be a very complicated mission because I want to bring that guy back. Because if we can land a guy on Duna and bring him back, then we can stop the stream series, because that was the goal I set for myself when we started. But yeah, so you see stuff like this. This costs 1,000 science. 4, is that the rapier? Yeah, the rapier, which is almost maybe mandatory for making space planes. And then we've got like some no fucking around scanners for fuel making. And then this is like the ultimate satellite core. Does this have maneuver lock? This has maneuver lock. We can use that in lieu of a level 5 pilot. Considering how much science we're about to pull out of our ass. We might actually not. It's like we'll be able to get most of the stuff on the science tree, but I don't think that lab's going to give us the full tree. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. But I was going to buy this. And then basically we retrofit the Science 21,000 Mark II. That lander is pretty much done. I mean, we could put the highest grade scanner arm on it, which we don't have yet. We put the highest grade scanner arm and get a final reading of an olivine formation, but we don't need to worry about that. That's probably overkill. If it's not, we can just go down and do it, right? Sky's the limit. All right. Prograde, retrograde, radial, normal hold. Doesn't have target, unfortunately. But holy shit, that thing's tiny. I was honestly expecting it to be bigger. I almost wonder if I should slap an extra control wheel on there while we're here. Might as well, right? Microchips and shit looks fancy. So we basically fly this up, but just dock that on. That'll add a bunch of piloting power to the station. I'll probably put that on the fuel tank part. We'll just always use the lander. I don't think we'll find ourselves in a situation again where we'll need to bring down a scientist and an engineer at the exact same time. We can make the fairing a lot smaller now. We should bring this again so we can always refuel the lander. And then I think we'll actually make the refueling module on Gosling just pure liquid. We'll make it it's just for refueling nerve engines. You'll have to bring your oxidizer with you from Kerbal, which I might regret, but we can always refit the station. That's the great part about the station. All right, delete the fairing, build the fairing. All right. Still too small. Jesus. Does that look aerodynamic? I don't fucking know. Alright, so this is what we'll be flying out to Gosling Station tomorrow night. Technically, I could just add a little seat to the lander to take down a passenger for low weight. Yeah, but I'm not sure how I would strap a seat onto it. I know there's mods and stuff where, like, engineers can remove parts and then put them on other parts. Is the core attached to the double core? Yeah, it's inside this reaction wheel. There he is. Probo Dobo Dynocto 2. I can just strap. Yeah. If I was building a new lander and sending it up, there's some changes we could make, but I'd prefer to not have to send up a mission to replace the lander. So I could either fly this up and make this part of the lander, and the lander takes it with it, and the pilot stays in the station, or I can put this on the station and keep it there, and then the pilot always goes down with the lander. Docking port's not quite flush. I kind of want to make it clip now, just for the aesthetics. I'm not confident it's actually inside that thing, to be honest with you. Is there a part list that I can consult? Okay, top left. Rotate and offset. Oh, I want to offset. Okay. I don't see an offset tool. Oh. A little too low. Start over. Okay, back you go. Perfect. So that's our That's our secret autopilot module. Don't lose that. So that's, I mean, that's technically the payload we're delivering, but we could also maybe bring up the refueling port. Which would be basically another one or two of these. Normally I don't clip because it feels a little cheaty, but that's more of an aesthetic choice, so that's not too bad to do the offset tool there. But now I want to try and make where the fuel would go on the station. Let's delete the fairing for now, or hide the fairing. All right, let's just delete it for now. So this would be another dock. This will be a very unstable flight though, because it's docked into this, and then this is docked into the fuel port. This might have to be two separate payloads for stability, I don't know. Okay, and then for structural, this. Stylish orange, it's emergency, that's how you know it's where the fuel goes. Actually, this is going to be very hard to fly up there because it's so fucking big, but this looks the coolest. Would you fucking not? Thank you. Let me do this. And this is that's the fuel. This is where we put the fuel for our Mars mission. Should only take it would actually take a few flights to fill this up. If we could refit the Science 21000 and specifically be a tanker once we're not actually pulling any loads with us. Yeah, you know what? I think if this is just for the station, we can ditch this part. So the station will always have the autopilot control, and the pilot will go down to the lander. That'll be the new protocol. And that causes this thing to not have the power to leave orbit anymore because there's a fucking bunch of fuel on top of it. It's heavy. Batteries too for the station, don't forget. Thank you for reminding me. Very small batteries again, shit. But yeah, the batteries are critical because the space station lab draws a lot of power. I mean, this is It's a lot of power coming out of that. This is a very powerful payload we're putting in. It's going to add a lot of functionality to the station. So this end connects to the station, and then this end is what you would dock with. Don't do it like that, please. Obviously, you wouldn't go and swim through the fuel, but maybe the Kerbals do. There is real estate if I want to put some gigantic ones, but I don't think I bought that particular upgrade, did I? Power? I didn't. Which sucks. The gigantic solar arrays would look really cool on this. Oh, it's not on snap. Now I kind of wish that I saved up for the gigantic arrays. This is pretty much the only time I'd use them. Just trying to think. That's not too bad. And then I think it actually has more than enough power to transmit to mission control, and I want to say our network's even big enough to communicate to Duna, but we could even strap a satellite. No. I think a satellite dish would not really fit in with the theme of this payload either. So then we'd have to like retire multiple parts of the station if we end up upgrading it. I do like that. Yeah, you gotta watch out for the feature creep. It's got power. It's got power storage. It adds autopilot. This is just this is all we needed. Let's stay within our scope here. Thing definitely struggles to get to space though. See if we can over-engineer it here. Oh yeah, it's definitely. Adding more thrust is not the play here. Do I have the probe core? Yeah, we had the probe core inside this reaction wheel. I hope. There she is. Okay, perfect. I purposely left it revealed so I could double check. It's a shame we can't color this because it would be nice to make this orange so it matches like that industrial tone of the caps, but still pretty cool. I mean, we could put some lights on it if we wanted to. Because I always like lights for the, you know, the visibility of the station when you're flying towards it. See if I can get a nice angle here. Turn this off. I think the snap's the problem. Not too shabby. Perfect for draining the batteries on those long nights. It's about style, though. And that, I think, is rather sharp. So I think it's time to stop so we can start fresh tomorrow night as we try to get this thing to our station, which will be tricky. Because the main thing is our initial booster isn't enough to get us up anymore. But wait. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna back it up a second here because there's something I want to check. Because I think we barely had 3,400 before, right? And 3,400 was actually enough to get us into space and circularize and do our angle change and do half of the Minmus burn. So I think 3,290 at sea level is actually enough to get us into orbit still, because it's not accounting for the altitude change. Looks like it's going to need some struts. It's just this. You might be right. I'd prefer not to put struts. Or is there a way to remove the struts once they decouple? I'm hoping the fairing keeps it strong. But you might be right. But we are about to call it a night, so that's a problem for next time. Do I have the lights on still? I have the lights on still. Lights off. Lights off. Struts break when decoupled. Yeah, so they break when decoupled, but there's the little, like, stud left behind is what I mean. So if I were to do something like this, the bar goes away, but the connector remains. But this would add structural integrity. I just don't want these gaudy things left on the tank. Anchor is the word. Thank you. We might just try. We might just try without the struts because we'll find out very quickly. We'll pretty much find out on ascent if the struts are mandatory. And then, yeah, it's not needed, but for style, we could do this. That mimicked itself Perfect, kind of. Little off center on the other ones. Look at that. Sharp. Yeah, they definitely got a lot done tonight. All that science, landed the new rover, rescued Jokey. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to get this thing connected to Gosling Station, and then we're getting incredibly close to our final Duna mission. Could I hide the anchors inside the ship? I could if I wanted to, but like I said, we'll try it. We'll try a launch without the struts, because I think, I mean, this is going to have some wobble, but I think the fairing might protect it from the stress. That is once again a fucking gargantuan fairing. But yeah, 3,200 on this. And then the Delta V is going to be all fucked up though, because I don't want this thing transferring fuel. Disable crossfeed, right? That means the fuel shouldn't flow down into these engines. I'll enable crossfeed because I'm going to forget I did that tomorrow. Double check our staging. Final check to make sure the ship's tip-top for tomorrow. All right. The towers come off, main engines, and then we're in space. Once we're in the vacuum, we remove the fairing, and then we decouple and fire the nerve, and then we have this guy here. This decouples everything and turns on the heat shield for when we come back. The nerve works above 33k. I feel it just burns so slow, and I have a problem where I normally don't turn my ship quick enough, so I have very steep ascents that I have to circularize. But you might be right. I might need to do an intermediary stage. Like we just use this to get off the ground, and then we have something in the middle. But I mean, this stage, although I keep extending it, is this stage has got us through a lot of missions. But I shouldn't get bogged down here. I said we were going to stop. Ship looks wonderful, though. I have high hopes. Let's save it. Oh, sorry. The Science 21,000 Mark III. The thing I said I was going to do is we're going to look at the Science 21,000 Mark II right before we stop. It is time to leave. And I want to see how much Delta V it has at sea level with the lander attached, the rover. Mark II. It had 3406 at sea level, and that actually was enough, like I said, to get in orbit, circularize, change our inclination. It's 3436, so we would be able to afford everything but the angle change, I think, on the Mark III. And I also remember that. Oh no, never mind. The lander, the rover was not docked on. It was had a decoupler attaching it, so yeah, it was a little wobbly. Well, not wobbly. So yeah, this might have been a wobble to it, but we can correct that back in the VAP if there's any problems. So I hope you can tune in tomorrow while we try to finalize our station. I think this is, barring unforeseen circumstances, this is probably the last module we'll put on Gosling Station. And then we can start to plan for our mission to Duna. But that's a problem for tomorrow. And it's time for me to stop tonight, so see you then.